We're about a fourth of the way through the school year, and many juniors and seniors are starting to look more heavily forward to paying for school after they leave Mount Juliet High School. BNN students sat down with MJHS counselors Holly Ann Heller and Christy Walker to talk about getting into college and paying for it.
Fall of your senior year is when all the applications open for college. So that's when you're going to actually look and see when their deadlines are. Each college has their own deadline. So that's how you can prioritize, is which deadline's coming up first, which deadline is coming up last. If you plan on applying like early decision, that's going to be an earlier deadline, of course, than some of the other ones. So fall of your senior year is when you should be applying.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see in some colleges are going to have scholarship deadlines along with the application deadlines. So you want to make sure and not miss the scholarship deadlines. For example, Tennessee Tech's, I think, is December 15th. So be sure when you're checking all of the schools that you're interested in to make sure and look at the scholarship deadlines, because you don't want to miss out on any money, because that's super important to you and your parents. So like Ms. Heller said, fall of your senior year is huge, and each one of them has their own application deadline. Many of them are fall, and some of them you can wait till spring, but you definitely need to be narrowing down and applying in the fall. The applications are all online now, so you can go to their website. You're going to look for admissions, or you're going to see freshmen. You're going to click on it, and the application is going to be online. And one thing I know all the counselors are going to recommend is to go on a campus tour, and you can schedule that online as well. So because you're going to think, oh, I want to go to these schools, and absolutely, but until you go to that school and kind of see how it feels to you, walking around and visiting and checking out the campus in person, you don't know really if it's going to be a fit for you. So, and you get a couple days your senior year for that to be excused. So make sure and do a campus tour to make sure that that's good for you.
There's also the common application, which multiple schools have joined into one unified application. There's mostly going to be private schools on that application. A few publics have added on, which is new to their system. But if you're applying to multiple publics, multiple privates, it's nice because you can fill out that one application. Sometimes there's supplements per each college, but it's easier than filling out multiple applications. So also check on the Common App as well. Well, playing off something Mrs. Walker said is the college campus tours. That's a great idea, because you might think like, oh, UT Knoxville is for me. But when you actually go to the UT Knoxville campus, you find, you know what, this is too big and too overwhelming. This might not be a good fit for me. But then you go to the Lipscomb campus and you're like, this is just right. So doing campus tours is an excellent way to narrow down. Also doing, looking into their programs that they offer. You want to make sure that you're going somewhere that has your major being offered. You also want to make sure that there's some affordability there, what kind of scholarships they have, and also what opportunities do they have after college. How do they support their alumni?
Mm-hmm. Also, search and seek out your counselor. Starting and just going in and talking to your school counselor and saying, I have no idea, I've never done this, maybe my parents have no idea, and sitting down and they can help you. Okay, number one, let's start with maybe your top 5. Do you want to stay in-state? Do you want to start maybe at a 2-year, or let's kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe start with a couple campus tours, and maybe they can help you and show you where to apply, because it is overwhelming. Senior year is overwhelming. You guys as seniors have probably already seen that, because you've got to apply for colleges, there's scholarships, and your parents are probably, are you doing this, 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 and this? So, but I would tell you to meet with your counselor. That's what we're here for, and we can kind of help you get on the right track with that. There's varying deadlines for schools to get back to you. Some schools have, a week policy. We will get back to you within a week. Some schools are, we're going to get back to you when we get back to you. So they all have varying deadlines. Typically, you're going to hear within 1 to 2 months, if not sooner.
Everyone has until May 1st to figure out where they're going to go. That is the national deadline. May 1st, you have to commit. So by then, you should have your financial aid packages in, you should have your acceptance letters in, and you should be able to make a very educated decision by that May 1st national deadline. After May 1st, then you're going to be negotiating with the college on whether or not they're actually still going to let you in. So you got to have that decision made by May 1st.
Yeah, and that's what I started to say. Some of it depends on when you have applied and when the deadline for the application is. Like Knoxville was November 1st, and so you can imagine how many students were applying. So it's just going to take some time. It may be a month, it may be 2 or 3 weeks. So it's just different timelines for each university, and some will be super quick. Some maybe 2-year schools, Ball State, it may be a week or 2 that you may find out. But like she said, May 1st, you're gonna need to know where you're going and have a have a pretty good idea of what your financial aid package is, and that's next. I know you're probably going to ask about FAFSA and that kind of thing. So,
in the next video, Mrs. Heller and Mrs. Walker will dive more deeply into how to pay for college.